Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 8 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
Hello.
So, let's just get cracking.
Yep.
It's been a week.
Yes.
It's been a week.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the documentary. Aired on Thursday.
Yeah.
2 more episodes.
Remember, we got a lot of people in America, so Wednesday.
All right,
for
Wednesday.
them.
Yeah, Wednesday.
For us over here, Thursday.
I still don't understand how they get to see it first and we get to see it second.
No, we get to see it at the same time. It's roughly the same time because basically what happens is it goes out at like 9 o'clock in America, but because they're behind,
right,
we're like 5, 6, 7 hours later, which then falls in Thursday. So we're roughly about the same time, to be honest.
I'm rubbish with geography and all that, and time zones and all that. So
yeah,
okay. So this week's episode, the first of the 2, we had a break from talking about Wrexham.
We did. Yeah,
and we were talking about Wales as a whole.
Yeah, it was quite interesting, really. How do you think that sort of fitted in with the whole dynamic of the documentary?
To be honest, when it started talking about it, I was a bit like, oh, this is just going to be a bit boring. You know, I mean, I love history and all that, but I just thought, you know what, I just want to see about the Wrexham football team. But actually, I found it, like you said, I found it really interesting and kind of like the background. You know, there's certain things that obviously I knew anyway. You know, being Welsh, but there's like other things that I didn't know, which was, you know, interesting to. Yeah,
and it's obviously geared a lot towards an American market and trying to win new fans as well. You know, so people outside of Wales, you know, I've lived in Wales all my life, so, and you know, I learnt about Welsh history, so you know, it's something that I know about. But when you're trying to attract new fans, sort of globally, it's a good thing to have, and it was quite funny as well.
It was, and I think that's what made it, you know, better, because it did have funny bits in it. It wasn't just, you know, your straight-laced, boring history documentary. It was quite funny with Robin Ryan in it as well. They
kept the Wrexham theme going in the middle a little bit, didn't they? Because they had the top 10 sort of goals. Yeah. Dubious top 10, I will be honest.
I was a bit thinking why Hayden wasn't in there, because he was quite a good goal scorer.
Yeah, I mean, they picked 10 goals and they said the top 10. I don't know, it was a bit of a ropey top 10, I thought. But anyway, it kept people engaged with Wrexham in the middle, didn't it? But it was mainly focused on Wales. I liked the Charlotte Church bit at the end. Oh my
God, when she sang the national anthem, I just had goosebumps. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. Obviously, I think we saw a few people going, what has she got to do with the club? Who cares? Really?
When was Charlotte Church last at the race course? Yeah, and who knows? She could have been there last week for all we know.
Yeah, I don't think she was. But,
no, I don't think she was.
But ultimately, it's just someone there, you know, representing Wales, which was nice, you know, and it was nice. It was an episode. People have to remember it was an episode about Wales, that, you know, and she's obviously a very well-known Welsh lady.
Opera singer,
yeah. So, and I tell you what I really liked is when she sang the national anthem, Ryan and Rob stood as well. Stood up.
Oh, they were like
properly I really liked that. And I think it was a weird episode, I think. Yeah. But I understand why they did it. And I think it was worthwhile having it there. It's always going to be a little bit strange for us as Wrexham fans, I think, because I think sometimes you're watching it and you're going, well, obviously we know that. But of course we know that because we follow the club. And I think we've got to bear in mind, we're trying to, it's going out to a bigger audience than just the fans of the club. Sometimes.
Yeah. And I think it was actually, the episode was in quite a good kind of break of the other, you know, of the other episode.
It was good timing,
it kind of broke it up a little bit. So yeah, I think it was really good.
Yeah. So episode 2.
Yes.
Not episode 2. Well, it's episode 2 of the week.
Yes.
Which was episode 8. Was it 7 and 8 this week?
Oh God, I can't even remember.
I'm losing track already. It's only been a few weeks. But yeah, so the second one, we had a little bit of an insight into Aaron Hayden, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
This week.
Yeah.
Now,
not much of an insight though.
Not much. We had a little bit, you know, we sort of saw his family and we saw him getting ready for games. Now, I love Aaron Hayden, as we know on here. I think he's an amazing player. He's one of my favourite players at the club. What I found was on it, he seems to be quite hard on himself. He seems to be sort of like, he just was quite hard on himself. I think he felt like, oh, I need to be doing better here. I need to be doing... I was interested to ask this question. I was going to ask it in the week, and I thought, no, I'll save it up for the podcast. Is the way that he was quite sort of hard on himself, is that something you think you want from a professional sportsman?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I tell you why I asked the question, because...
I'll tell you why I said the answer, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but the reason I ask is like, yeah, I get that you want them to be hard on yourself. You want them to be constantly striving to be better and all of that. The reason I ask the question is, if you're also going, right, this needs to be better, that needs to be better, then you go into the next game and it isn't, you don't have a great game, and then you think, right, okay, I need to work on that, I need to work on that, I need to score more goals. And then you play another game and it doesn't quite go your way again. Is being that hard on yourself potentially detrimental longer term? The longer it doesn't go your way, is there a knock-on effect that it affects your performance because you're not getting to where you need to be, because you're that hard on yourself?
It can either go two ways, can't it? It can either go, you know, you carry on, like you said, striving and striving and striving every single game. Yeah. And if you're not getting to where you want to be, you keep on going.
Yeah, yeah.
But on the other hand, it could be, you know, you could start getting frustrated with yourself. You know, why aren't I achieving this? And then starting doubting yourself. And...
I'm not saying that's what I think.
No.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting point, really, for me, because I thought, I know things have gone well for Aaron Hayden.
Yeah.
You know, I know he's continuously gone, right, this needs to be better. And it has been better. And he's got better. And he's scoring goals. And, you know, this, that, and the other. And it was just something that crossed my mind, really, of what if it hadn't really sort of got better for him and he was just continuously that hard on himself? Would he have been able to, you know, because players could sometimes, there's a lot of pressure on players' shoulders. And if they beat themselves up so much, like you say, go one or two ways that, because they'll beat themselves up a little bit and they'll focus on something and they'll get better. But if it doesn't, then are they just beating themselves into the ground? beating themselves into the ground. But are they, though? You know, and maybe that is what happens with some players sometimes, who don't necessarily have that mentality to keep going, to make sure that it's better. Yeah. Maybe people fall into this little bit of a lull and they just find it really hard to get themselves out. It's just an interesting point that I thought, that I thought I'd bring up, really.
Yeah. Well, no, it was good. No, it was a good point.
Yeah. I think we got an insight in the second episode as well into Phil gets a hard time, doesn't he, Phil Parkinson?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he does get a hard time, and
unnecessarily sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, I would agree. I think we got an insight into how early fans got on his back, because they were in the turf, they were on a conversation. Is he the right? I don't think he's the right man for the job. And we were 9 games in when they were having this conversation, and it was sometimes it's baffling to me as a fan.
Yeah,
you do want the best, and you get 8-9 games in, and you think, is this really working? Is it? But to say he's not the right man for the job that early, what do you think about that?
Everyone's a football manager.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
Everyone thinks that they could do the job better than Phil Parkinson, than whatever. But you can't make that decision after 9. And Wayne from the turf rightly said,
yeah, we're 9 games in.
We're 9 games in.
Yeah.
And he also said to this guy who said that, he was like, have you been to every single game? And he was like, no. He was like, well, it's like you can't air those opinions if you haven't been to every single game.
That is quite true as well. It's quite hard to make these sort of judgments, isn't it, without seeing it week in, week out and seeing every game.
Yeah.
It was just interesting to me. I obviously remember a little bit of a backlash. You know, my brain's terrible for remembering stuff, but you know, I remember there being a bit of a backlash. Is either right, man? I don't think I remembered it was that early on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember having some reservations, you know, but it's one of them, really, isn't it? You know, how do you judge someone that early on?
I mean, you know, at the point of when all this was recorded, obviously, he was just in his first season with Wrexham, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So, again, see, for me, I think you need to give somebody longer than a season, which obviously they have.
Well, let's touch on this then. As a new into football, you know, what you get a new manager in.
Mm-hmm.
In your head, as a new football fan, how long do you give a manager?
I would say, well, I mean, 2 or 3 seasons.
Would you? So that's your head. You're saying 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, because obviously, you know, when they first started, they got a lot of, I hate to say the word, but they got rid of a lot of dead wood.
Yeah.
And brought in like Mullen, Ollie Palmer, you know, all the quality players that we've got now.
Yeah.
And I think that one, I mean, say like Ollie Palmer, he didn't come in until like
January.
Yeah. So he was only there for a few months before the end of the season. So I think that, you know, and then obviously he's bringing a couple more players in. And I know that's going to be like a reoccurring thing every season.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I just think knocking somebody after the first season, we did so much with under Parky.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can get on my you know, with this.
You crack on. I'll have a drink. You go.
I just think that, you know, Parky has done a lot for Wrexham. I mean, where were we? I can't answer this question because I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you, where were we in the season 20 to 21? At the end of that season, where were we?
After 9 games?
No, I mean at the end of the season.
Well, we just missed out on the playoffs, didn't we? That's where we were. So, do you mean last season, or do you mean the season before Parky?
The season 2020 to 21.
Yeah.
But obviously that was during lockdown.
So when Keats was there.
Yeah.
we just missed out on the playoffs. So that would be what position's that? That's were we 8th?
It sounds about 8th or 9th, is it?
8th, I think it is. I'm not sure without doing maths, but
so. You know, he got us to second. He didn't, you know, we didn't win we didn't get promoted, obviously, as we all know, but we got to second. And that is a hell of an achievement.
I feel like I wound you up and just let you go there a little bit. But I'll
get off my soapbox now.
But as an owner, that would be very lenient. So if you were in charge of a club and you were going, don't worry, you got 2 or 3 seasons. That's very lenient.
I'm just really kind.
As an owner. But it can be highly detrimental to a club, you see.
Yeah,
because,
I guess.
You know, you look at someone like, I know not in our league, but you look at Watford.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, they cycled. They could have 3 managers in a season. Watford do. If it doesn't work, they ship them out and somebody else is in.
See, I think that can be detrimental to a team as well.
It can, and I think that's too far. But equally, I think, you know, you can't give somebody too long either. But
all right, 2 seasons then.
Yeah, but, you know, I think as long as you're doing well and you can see progression.
Which we are.
I think you've got to trust in the people that are in charge.
And he's proven to be a good manager in his previous roles.
He has. Stubborn, but good. Yeah.
Well, aren't all men stubborn? Sorry. So, you
know. A little bit more from that documentary was obviously a little bit more of the community sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
So we had the Free Guy premiere.
Where was I? Where was my invite for that?
I remember it happening, and I remember all that, and I just think that things like that are great, though, aren't they? Because I remember when it went on Netflix, I think, Free Guy.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds made sure it had Welsh subtitles as well.
Yes.
So it's just little things like that which I think are so important as well.
And on I can't remember if it was the first or second episode, but they were learning words in Welsh. All right, they were, you know.
Yeah, their Welsh was awful, but
but
they were trying to learn.
Yeah,
and I think it is important.
Yeah.
And I think things like that. And then obviously we got to see Ryan and Rob's first game.
Oh, it did make me chuckle though when the opposing team were like saying, "You bought the wrong team."
Yeah, I know. And Ryan was like, "What they saying?"
I heard my name, but
they said you said you bought the wrong club. And he went, "Oh, okay." do you know what? I find it quite a hard watch in a way because, you know, when they went to their first game and the documentary's done in such a good way that I was watching it and I just wanted them to win so badly that you're watching, you're going, look, they've done all this, they've travelled over and, you know, they've come to the game and they're getting involved and they're doing all this good stuff at the club.
You just want
they go into the first game, you just want them to win. Yeah. And you're sitting there watching it and your brain does this weird thing where it's going, maybe this time they'll win. And it's like, no, that's not how it works, is it? And so sometimes I do find it quite a tough watch.
It's like reliving a heartbreak over and over and over again.
It is. And you know what's coming. And I love the insights of the club. But at the same time,
you just don't want to see the games again.
Don't want to. Just let us see the insights of the club.
The good ones, the good insights. Yeah, the wins.
Do the community stuff. It's just not. I just don't want to see any games.
It's all part and parcel of it, though, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Like you said, you've got to remember, it's not for us. It's for a wider audience. They've got to really, well, it is, but I mean, they've got to really understand the, you know, the emotion and all that kind of stuff that goes along with being a Wrexham fan, because there's a lot.
I tell you what it does do, though, again, how well the documentary's put together. It does build this whole underdog story thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's very focused on, we're only 12th, but it builds it in such a way that's so clever that, you know, when we do, because we know we start winning, because we've been there, you know it gets better, and it's the whole, you know, oh, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And then, you know what's coming. And, you know that obviously we just miss out, but I think it's put together in a really good way. Really good way. But let's move on.
Let's move on now to the Dagenham and Redbridge game.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a good game.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
And it was our first evening game for ages.
Yes, a long time, because we were obviously on holiday for the Gateshead game.
So it was really good to be back. It was a little bit chilly, but it was. I quite like that.
Yeah, I like the floodlight games. Yeah. I do.
Really. I do.
Something really, really special happened as well, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. So we were at. It was a little bit bizarre at first, but it was because it's the first time it's happened. But we were at the game, so we're having a little beer just on the side. I think there was a game on the TV, wasn't there? We were watching the game.
Yeah.
And a lady comes over, and she goes, "Oh, hello," and we were like, "Hello," and then she was like, "Oh, I just wanted to come over and say hello because I've been."
I was watching you on the TV last night.
I was watching you on the TV, and at first my head went, "What?" I don't remember being on the TV, but basically she came over. She said she recognised us from the podcast.
Well, from the YouTube, not from
the YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, from the YouTube stuff. And she wanted to come over and said that she was really enjoying it, and that, you know, she recognised us. It was the first time being recognised, wasn't it?
Oh my God, it was so funny.
You nearly went into meltdown a little bit.
I did. I was like, I was so chuffed.
Yeah, but she was really nice.
Lovely.
We had a chat with her for about 10 minutes.
We do know her name, but we're not going to mention her because she said, "No, don't mention me.
Don't mention me."
So we're not going to. So but hello.
Yeah, hello. It was a little bit bizarre, wasn't it? Bizarre. Getting recognised. Nice. It was lovely.
It was lovely.
But onto the game.
Man of the match.
Oh, straight into that.
Man of the match.
Yeah.
See, I put a post onto our socials after the game. Obviously, Paul Mullen got man of the match.
Yeah.
But you were like, Ollie Palmer.
Yeah. I said earlier.
You did.
I said quite early on, didn't I?
I called Luke Young as man of the match.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. He was my man of the match. I thought he did really well. And a lot of people agreed with me, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ollie Palmer missed out on man of the match.
I was about 70 minutes in, and I said to you, didn't I? I said, right, Ollie Palmer, man of the match, hands down.
Not Ollie Murs.
Not Ollie Murs. Hands down, man of the match, easily.
Yep.
When they called it out, I was like, we looked at each other and I was like, no chance. And then a lot of people were chanting Ollie's name, weren't they?
Yeah.
I've got an issue with Man of the Match awards.
Okay.
Because Man of the Matches are awarded by the company or the people who sponsor the game.
Yeah.
Now, my worry about that is is it just some corporate bigwigs sitting watching a game, having a beer, mingling with each other, not really paying too much attention, and then someone's gone, who's your man of the match? What? Sorry? Paul Mullin scored 2. Give it to him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what happens.
Yeah.
But sometimes you sort of go, are you watching the same game as we are? Because there was thousands of people in there who knew who man of the match was. And no offence to Paul Mullin, but it wasn't him. You know, he scored his 2 goals. Fair enough. You know, he did little bits of it. He did his job. That's fine. But Ollie was outstanding the other night.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would go as far as to say that was his best performance in a Wrexham shirt. For me, it was. I thought he did everything, and I thought he was amazing. And then to not get man of the match because somebody has decided it's somebody else, I think was wrong.
It would be interesting to know how they kind of get their man of the match. The people who decide what they actually do, whether they do watch the game. You know, full concentration, or whether they, like you said, are mingling. And
are they just inviting customers and potential customers to sit with them and all that, and they're not really paying attention? Yeah. Are they just networking? But
maybe.
Annoyed me a little bit, but Ollie, if you're listening.
Never would have guessed.
No, it did annoy me. It's just one of them things. It's just like, give the man of the match to the person who's the man of the match. If you've got 2 players who play really well, like outstanding performances, and you give it to one over the other, fair enough. That's just an opinion, yeah. But let's be honest, Mullin wasn't outstanding the other night. He played very well.
Yep.
But there was just 2 different levels between him and Ollie, and it was clear for everybody to see, I think.
And I think a lot of people agreed with you, as obviously the noise at the
when they announced it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
So after that game, Ollie obviously scored 5 in 3.
Mm-hmm.
So he's on fire at the moment.
He's on fire. We hope it continues long into the season.
Yes, definitely. I think he'll get a few. I read an interview with Phil Parkinson where he said he hadn't scored in about 8 games, I think, up until a while ago.
Yeah.
And I think they tweaked his game a little bit. They said he needs to be getting in the box, especially the 6-yard box at the back post. And they've obviously tweaked something really small in his game, and it's working for him now.
Off, yeah.
He scored a lot of goals in that 6-yard box, so they've obviously tweaked something worthwhile.
Yeah.
And it's actually, and that's hats off to Phil Parkinson again. He's come forward and he said, right, you need to change this. He's changed it. And he scored 5 goals in 3 games. So,
not as stubborn as we think.
Well, we had a little chat, didn't we? I said to you, what would you rather, a 5th goal or a clean sheet? And what did you answer?
5th goal.
A 5th goal.
5th goal.
See, for me, it was the complete opposite. I was happy not to get a 5th goal, just to keep a clean sheet.
Well, they didn't get a 5th goal.
No, they didn't keep a clean sheet.
So neither of us got our wish.
Because to me, conceding last minute goals, they scored in the 96th minute.
They did.
Conceding late goals is a bad habit to have. And it's
like they're taking their foot off the gears.
Yes.
Brake or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll gloss over that. I just think it's a bad habit to be in.
Yeah.
We have succumbed to late goals a lot of times over the last year. I just think it's a bad habit to be in.
Yeah.
Look, on Tuesday, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. We'd already scored 4, but I just think it's a bad habit to be in, because if we're playing somebody better, and let's be honest, Dagenham were poor on Tuesday. If we're playing someone better, and that's a tight game, a 96-minute goal could be the difference between 3 points and a point.
Yeah. And
I just think it is a very bad habit to be in, and it's something that has bitten us on numerous occasions in the past. That's why, for me, it was more important to keep that clean sheet than to go scoring 5 again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'd have taken 3 goals, or even 2,
for a clean sheet.
And I know goals are important, but clean sheets are important as well. And I think that's a very good habit to be in. And I saw Howard. Howard was fuming. When they scored, he was fuming.
Yeah.
And rightly so. But yeah, it's something. But to flip it round into a positive, so we're not just talking negative, I think it was a shout out for Max. Mendy was amazing, and Anthony Ford I thought was top quality. We actually saw Anthony Ford beating players. He was beating players and he was putting balls into the box, and I thought the three of them were excellent. Among other players on the pitch who are usually very good.
Luke Young.
Yeah, I just thought them three were very good.
Yeah,
and I think we've got quite a settled team at the moment.
Yeah, there wasn't any changes, was there, in regards to the team lineup at the Dagenham
at the start?
game?
No, at the start, no. We were sticking with the same team, and I think it's quite a settled team. I don't know how it's going to work with rotate. How would you, for you, we've talked about rotation before. We had a whole episode about rotation.
We did. rotation.
But now we've got a quite settled team there, and they're playing quite well. How do you now feel about rotation? Because technically what you should be doing is you should be going, take you out, put you in, take you out, put you in. But now we've got that nice settled team.
Could be a dangerous game.
Could be, but
it could. That's a tough question, to be honest. I don't really know the answer to that.
No, because the problem you've got is you might get to the end of the season, and then all of a sudden you've got some tired players again, and you're struggling in your last 5, 6, 7, 8 games. Because for having a settled team.
Yeah.
Don't know.
It is a toughie, that one.
It is. So we had a couple of people in touch, didn't we, about the Dagenham game.
Yeah.
Cariad Chris got in touch on Instagram. He said, fab result. Great to see a striker with the strikers with a brace apiece. I think that is always nice.
Yeah.
That you've got your strikers scoring.
Yeah.
It's nice to score all around the pitch, but that's their job, to get in there and score. And I think
job well done.
A job well done for them. And we also had...
We're not sure if this is Grobs or G-Robs. We're not sure.
Or G-Rob ZS.
We're not sure.
We're not 100% sure. He got in touch on Instagram and he said they were very poor. We could have scored 8. 3 points will do nicely. They were very poor. And I was surprised.
Who do you think he's talking about there? Do you think he's talking about us, or do you think he's talking about Dagenham and Redbridge?
I think he's talking about Dagenham. Because he said they were very poor. We could have scored 8.
Okay.
And
yeah.
It surprised me, to be honest. Because
I was literally going to the racecourse on Tuesday thinking, oh my God, this is going to be really tough because of what people were saying.
Definitely.
But they were just playing so dirty. It was really irritating.
They weren't that dirty. In
my eyes, they were dirty.
Well, let's talk about it because, for you, what's dirty?
Shirt pulling.
Part and parcel.
That's it.
that's
throwing the ball just off the side kicking the ball off the side for no apparent reason. The goalkeeper wasting time. I know that's a thing.
They can waste time. They can do what they want. We're 3-0 up at the time. Maybe they're just thinking. Oh, I just can't concede anymore. I just thought they were really poor, and they were a good team last season. Decent, hard to beat. We only beat them 1-0 at home.
Yep.
And I just thought they were really, they were just poor. They were lackluster. They come alive a little bit in the second half, but even then, we were quite comfortable, to be honest. I think we'd already gone down a gear. We'd taken our foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah. Which is a dangerous game as well. We shouldn't be doing that.
We shouldn't, but as well, in a long season, you've got to take your time when you can just sit back a little bit and just have a rest. Have a rest.
Have a chillax.
Yeah, so let's move on to the Southend game.
0-0.
Yeah.
0-0. Jake Hyde played.
Obviously
not for us.
No, not for us. He scored as well.
And it was disallowed.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think he should have played? Against us, I mean.
Well, it's an interesting conversation, this, because... Do you get... So he's on loan at the moment.
Yeah.
So speaking to you as a new football fan, again.
Yeah.
How do you understand the whole situation with loan players? So he's still our player, ultimately.
Yeah.
And we've loaned him to somebody else who's in the same league as us. So what is your understanding of what should happen when we play him?
I think because he's technically classed as a Wrexham player...
Yeah.
I don't think he should be allowed to play against us.
No.
Because technically, it's like I was going to say it's like an own goal if he scores, but
well, it's a weird scenario, this, because usually what happens if you loan a player to somebody else in your team, in your league, sorry, what the part of the stipulations of that contract are, you can have him, you know, these are his wages. Sometimes little weird things happen with wages. Sometimes they'll go, right, his contract still lies with us. You pay all his wages. And then he plays for you for a season for this many months, whatever that may be.
Okay.
Sometimes a team will go, look, we will take him, but I'm not paying all his wages. You pay half, we'll pay half. Sometimes that happens. There's all sorts of little stipulations that you get with loan deals.
Yeah.
Usually, a player, part of that contract will be, he's not playing against us. No way. That's usually one of the stipulations in the contract when a loan player goes out. Now, if you remember that Jake Hyde went to Southend as part of the deal where we bought Sam Dalby. Yeah.
Right.
So we bought Sam Dalby. To sweeten it, we went, look, we know you're going to be out of striker here. Do you want this one on loan? Because we're not really going to play him.
Jake Hyde feels special.
That's how it worked.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if they were going, if to sweeten the deal, they've sort of gone, look, we really want Sam Dalby. You can play him in whatever game you want. If you're playing us in the cup, in the league, whatever, you can play against us. I don't know. We don't know what's gone on behind kind. He was allowed to play.
Obviously.
Do you know what really annoyed me though?
What really annoyed you, Ryan?
He celebrated when he scored.
Did he?
So he's still our player. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. He's not going to play for us again. He's not, is he? When he comes back from his loan spell, one or two things are going to happen. We're going to sell him to someone else, or we're going to offer him to Southend permanently.
And he'll get booed at some point.
He's just, he's not good enough for this team. I don't think. He played his part. He did his bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to play for this team again. He's not. So, but yeah, it was a little bit odd, I think, for him to be playing.
Got a clean sheet though?
Yeah. Again, importance of a clean sheet away from home.
Yep. As
well. Get a clean sheet, and to get it away from home. A few people were quite down on the result yesterday. I noticed on social media. There was quite a few people who were like, oh my God, you know, we've gone on this good run. We can't even beat Southend. I remember Southend from last season. They were all right. They could play football.
There's going to be games like that though.
There's going to be.
Everybody, after last season and how far we've come, that all, like you said in another episode, you said that all the underdogs are going to be playing their absolute balls off to beat us.
Yeah.
I think that's what everyone, as you know, big-headed as it sounds, I think that's everybody's goal is to beat Wrexham AFC.
Yes, it's not long since Southend have come down though. They were a league club a couple of years ago, and I think that shows in the way they play football. They're missing quite a few players, I would say, from that squad at the moment to make it a decent team. But they can play football. Mm-hmm. There's players in that squad who've played league football before, and they can play football.
Yeah,
they can knock it about. I'll take a point away from home. So we're not losing. We're picking up a point. You know, what have we got? We got 23 home games and 23 away games in a season.
Yep.
23. If you win all your home games and you draw all your away games, the likelihood is you're going up. So, you know, I think if you work on the basic, you're going to pick up points away from home. We already have. You know, we've won games away from home. Sometimes you just need to go, look, we haven't got beat. We got beat once.
We've got a point.
Yeah, we've got a point. Take the point. And then we move on, and we got a home game.
What was that saying? Did wipe your mouth and move on?
Wipe your mouth and move on.
That's never going to go away.
It's not going to go away.
It's the best line ever.
Oh, I've made a little note here, which I spoke too soon. We're actually 6 points better off than we were at this point last season. So I said 8. I was close. But we're 6 points better off. I'll take that all day long. You know, I definitely will. You know, it's not much to talk about in the Southend game. It was just one of them games, and we picked up a point. So
yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So we got Oldham tickets.
We did.
Super excited because it's my first proper away game.
What are you expecting?
Well, a win, obviously.
No, I didn't mean it like that. What I meant was, what are you expecting from an away day? Because obviously we're not going to be somewhere that we recognise. We're not going to be somewhere that we normally go. What are you expecting?
I don't know now. I've not really thought about it.
No.
Well, my anxiety will probably be really high now you've just said that.
It's interesting because I find it nice going to other people's grounds. I do quite enjoy it. It's not quite, when you go to the racecourse, you know where everything is. You know how long it takes to queue up to get a beer. You know how long, where to go to get food. When you go somewhere else's ground, it's a bit weird. Sometimes, oh God, where do we go? What do we do? How do we get to the ground? What pub are we drinking in beforehand? Where are all the Wrexham fans?
All the important things.
All the important, but mainly surrounding food and beer. Yeah. But they've got a good ground, Oldham. I think this is one of the reasons we sort of earmarked this one, because there's a lot of grounds in this league which are, without offending too many people, they're a bit dubious, really. There's one or two grounds.
They haven't got the money, have they, to be doing
No,
so?
they haven't. There's one or two grounds. When we went to Nantwich?
Yeah.
There's a few grounds like that.
I quite like Nantwich, actually.
Yeah, I did, but...
Possibly because it was a nice warm
Do you really
day.
want to be standing there like that for a full game? You've got to bear in mind, Oldham are a former Premier League team. The Premier League started in 92, 93, and Oldham were there then. And, fast forward 30 years, and they're in the National League. Struggling a little bit.
When was the last time? Have you ever been to the Oldham ground?
I've never been to Boundary Park. No, I've never been there. But their away stand is 3,750.
Yeah, and they're in talks at the moment. This is a bit of news, actually, that they're in talks at the moment about releasing more tickets for that game.
It's up to the police, that is.
Yeah, health and safety. And I'm edging on the bets that we're not going to get any more tickets, I think.
Do you really want that many away fans in your ground?
Yeah.
I don't know what, I should have looked really, but I don't know what their attendance is at the moment. But I'm going to guess they're not getting loads. Do you really want almost 4,000 away fans there? Because we'd sell the 3,750 easily.
Twice over.
It's only down the road.
Yeah.
There's loads of people that'll go.
Yeah.
And I just think, for me, it's nice to have the money, but do you really want that many away fans there?
Yeah.
And I can see the concerns of the police. 4,000 people who aren't from there supporting a rival team.
Yeah.
Roaming around your city. Yeah.
Well, there's always stipulations, though, isn't there, when away teams go and play? Like, you have to leave the area straight away, or?
I don't know, really. It depends. It depends who you're playing. It's not the 80s. Do you know what I mean? We're not all queuing up outside with flares and balaclavas on. And waiting to.
No, we're a bit more open about it now.
Well, yeah, but what I mean is, it's not quite the same as it was.
There'll always be some idiots that are going to spoil it for us people who actually genuinely want to go and watch.
Yeah, but you're excited.
I am excited.
Yeah,
I am excited.
So we got 3 Saturdays in a row now, haven't we? Three Saturdays in a row, which is really.
I love Saturday games. I just love it.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. We might even put a video on the YouTube channel of your first away day.
Yeah.
You like that. Your thumbs up, going yay!
Excited. More news.
So the streaming, which we talked about at length. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it's been approved now by the National League. So they've put something forward to the committee. Committee have approved it, and they've told them, right, crack on with that, get that done. So they've
second half of the season.
For the second half of the season, yeah. So they sat down with BT Sport, which obviously we'd mentioned before, have got complete ownership of all the stuff, all the sort of all the rights and everything to the games. So they've done obviously a little bit of a deal with them. It's all going to be on a centralised platform. It's only going to be games that aren't going to be streamed by BT Sport. So if it's a game that's going to be streamed by BT Sport, you're not going to be able to watch it on the streaming platform as well. I don't know if it's going to be delayed starts, because you've got your old media blackout thing.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change there.
Yeah.
You're not suddenly going to be able to stream 3 o'clock games on there because it's not allowed. So I'm not sure how it's going to work.
Well, I was talking to my dad yesterday about it, actually.
Okay.
And he actually said that he thinks the best way to do it, because obviously, like you said, they're not going to do it at 3 o'clock dead on, is to maybe put it on an hour or so later. or once the game had completely finished?
Well, it has to be, because an hour later is still within the media blackout. The media blackout's between 3 and 6.
Okay, so once the media blackout's finished, that's when they put it on, so 6 o'clock.
And I'm really sorry now, because I'm stealing one of our listeners' ideas here, and I can't remember who it was who said it. Okay. I'll have to name check you next time. But he said, for the American stuff, would it work to just, this was before this was announced, to just time lag it? So in a sense of, when it's a 3 o'clock game here, in America, obviously they've got different time zones. Let's pick an average, 6 hours behind.
Yeah.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning there. So to watch a 3 o'clock game, it would be 9 o'clock in the morning there if you're watching it live. Mm. So what he suggested was, well, why don't they just put it on in America at 3 o'clock? That's 6 hours after. That's 9 o'clock at night here, which is almost match of the day sort of time.
Yeah.
For the Americans, they get the game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is the same way that we watch it over here. You're not infringing on any sort of things like that. Because when you go to the football, I talk about beer a lot. I don't drink a lot, but when you go to a game, you want to have a couple of beers and stuff like that. It's quite hard.
You do, I don't.
Yeah, but it's quite hard to have a couple of beers at 9 o'clock in the morning sat in your kitchen, isn't it? I mean, I think there's an intervention coming if you're doing that, from your family and friends.
Yeah.
But it was a very good point of just sort of time delaying it for the American audience, which would work because it would cover the media blackout. Really sorry, I've stole someone's idea there, but that would
probably work. And you talked quite a lot about it when you said you weren't going to talk quite a lot about it.
Move on.
So our reserves, our reserves, played Bolton.
They did.
And we lost 3-1.
They lost 3-1. I think, it's first game. I think it's quite an important sort of thing to have.
Interestingly, I may be wrong, but didn't Tunnicliffe play that game?
He did.
So he's real.
The invisible man.
He's real.
We know he's real. I've seen him warming up. He just never plays.
And I think Sam Dalby played.
Yes, he did.
Rory Watson.
Yes.
In goal.
Now, just a quick point about this. I understand that 2 of Bolton's goals were direct from corners that were swung in and went straight over his head.
How tall is he?
I don't know, to be honest. I've seen pictures of him.
And he needs to be taller.
But not full-length pictures. Even if I did, I'm not sure I'd be able to judge his height.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm, it's one of them. I think I'll be keeping a close eye on the reserves moving forward, because I think it's really important to, I'm glad Sam Dalby's playing. I'm glad Jordan Tunnicliffe's playing, because I think as we move on, and if Phil wants to do that whole rotation thing, it's important to have these players fresh and get them in there.
Absolutely.
So, really
So
good.
we've had our first review from one of our tweeters.
Yeah.
His name's Dean Warwick, and he's actually from Christchurch in New Zealand.
Ooh.
So, hello. And he basically put a review, a 5-star review, no less.
5 out of
5.
Okay, that's good. I thought you were going to say 10.
No, 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And he put a review on what's called Podchaser.
Okay.
And he basically said, a great podcast with some great, interesting insights about the club.
Yeah.
Hosts are knowledgeable, and you can tell they love the club and want to share that joy with a listener.
5 stars.
5 stars. So
that's
thank
really
you for that, Dean.
That's really good. We do get a lot of really great feedback, which we thank you for.
Even the Peter Kay one,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is what it is. But we do get some really nice feedback. Thank you very much. If you want to review anything, please feel free to do so. Any of our episodes, where they are. They're on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon. Oh, they're everywhere. Just if you want to leave a review, we'd be very appreciative of that. Thank you very much.
Let's talk the game on Saturday.
So Torquay.
24th. My mum and dad's anniversary, actually, that day.
Oh, is it?
45 years married. Anyway.
45 years.
45 years with my dad. I mean, she deserves a medal. But anyway, let's talk about the UK. Oh my God, I don't know what's wrong with me. Torquay United game.
Yes.
So, we played them home.
Yes.
Drew, 1-1.
Last season we're talking about now.
We're talking about last season, yeah. Sorry, we haven't played them yet.
Sorry, I stole your thunder on that, didn't I?
You did, 1-1. Yeah. Lennon scored for us. Obviously.
Where's he gone?
He's another
Where's he gone? I don't know if he's completely fit at the moment. It's a bit of a shame for him, you know, because he was a great player for us last season. Really enjoyed watching him play. I'm not sure he's getting in ahead of Max at the moment, but it would be nice.
Max he's doing well, isn't he?
Excellent, excellent. It would be nice to know that he's in and around the squad, though. Great player.
So the goal scored for Torquay was by, I love this name, Lemon Hay Evans.
Lemon Hay Evans.
I think his first name's Connor. Connor Lemon Hay Evans. Yeah, he is actually now with Stockport.
Oh, forget about him then.
So we don't need to worry about him. Yeah. But we played them away, obviously, as you do all the time.
Yes.
We lost.
1-0, was it?
Mm-hmm. And the person who scored for Torquay was Hall.
Hall.
Who still happens to be with...
I was expecting a longer name.
Hall.
And I was like, because it was like Connor Lemon Hay Evans.
Hall.
And then you went Hall.
Hall.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, just Hall.
Get a better name.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, he's still with Torquay, so maybe he could be one to watch.
Yeah, I don't worry too much about the players who scored against us last season. It's one of them, and it's anyone could score against us.
They could. So the top scorer for last season, the 2021-22
was it Lemon Hay Evans?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It was Goodwin.
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 Goodwin. Yeah. Exactly. He's actually on loan to Stoke at the moment. Oh, sorry, he's on loan from Stoke.
Oh, is he? Still there?
Hmm.
Okay. All right, cool.
And last season...
Yeah, they were mid-table, were they?
They were 11th.
Yeah.
But this season, current season, they are 20th. So, but again, I would say we could smash them.
I would say we could smash them.
In the nicest possible way, obviously. But, you know, with them being 20th, but then, as we say, it's only it's early on in the season.
Yeah, I think it's one of them, really. Torquay are always a team that I don't necessarily worry about them, but I think they've always got that potential of doing something. It's always a potential of doing something. We took 1 point off them last season, you know, from a potential 6.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so I wouldn't say I'm worried by them, because I'm not necessarily worried by anybody, but I just think it's always a little bit of a stumbling block when you look back at games before and you said we've struggled against these. You know, they know how to set up against us to stifle us a little bit. You know, we've scored 1 goal in 2 games against them, and you know ultimately they've taken 4 points away from playing us. So they drew on Saturday as well against Wealdstone. Wealdstone are still doing pretty well, but yeah, I'm not sure really. It's one of them. What's your prediction?
Predictions. Not doing very well. I nearly got my prediction right.
You didn't know, did you?
No, I didn't.
You didn't nearly.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm going to go with 3-0.
3-0 Wrexham. Are you?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 1.
We're home, aren't we? So.
Oh yeah, we are. I was thinking we were away for a minute there. I'm going to go 2-0.
Okay.
What you gone?
3-0.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0. I'd love it to be more.
2.5-0.
Just focus on that clean sheet. That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah. Well, you know.
So let's move on. So we'll just run over some of the other people who got in touch this week, because we had a mad one, haven't we? We have had an absolutely mad one. Tell us who got in touch on
his
Instagram.
Name is, well, I'm assuming it's, yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
His name is CJ Cook.
Mm-hmm.
And he's from across the pond.
He is. He's from America.
He's currently, as we speak, I think, in Portugal on his honeymoon.
Yes.
And he has told us, he said that he's loving the podcast, and because of our podcast and the Wrexham documentary, him and his wife are cutting short their honeymoon to come to Wrexham to watch the Torquay game next Saturday.
Which is crazy.
Well, he said that, you know, because obviously we've had like conversations with him.
Yeah, we had
and and he said that his family and his wife's friends and family basically have said that they're mental. Yeah,
they're absolutely nuts. But you know what? I full on salute.
Amazing.
I love this.
That is dedication for you.
That is, I love that when he's going, look, we're not really Wrexham fans, but we've been listening to your podcast. We've been watching the documentary, fallen in love with it a little bit. So what we've done, we've sacked off the other half of our honeymoon and we're going to come to Wrexham.
What better place to go on your second part of your honeymoon than Wrexham Town Centre?
It's just mad. And we've had it. Look, he seems like a lovely guy. So we're, you know, we've had a little bit of a chat, and he's a Buffalo Bills fan. So we've had a little bit of a chat about that because I'm a New York Giants fan. So we've had a bit of a conversation. He's asked for a few places to go around here for some food and drink and things like that. I just think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing that someone from the other side of the world who is on honeymoon has gone, now we're stopping this. Stop this honeymoon. Let's get over to Wrexham and let's watch a game. Amazing.
Love it.
I absolutely love it. Phil got in touch to say excellent podcast content.
Little disclaimer, this Phil is Ryan's dad.
My bloody dad. Keep up the good work, Peter Kay and Shan. Yeah, thanks for that one. So that was, if people don't know, somebody referred to this show as a little bit like Car Share with Peter Kay. So that's where that comment's come from. So we'll move on from that one.
We had another one from America. She's from Montreal.
Summer.
And her name's Summer. And she put Montreal fan who made the playoffs last week, enjoying the podcast and the documentary. So I'm assuming she means Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal made the playoffs last week, and she was really excited about that.
Is that soccer or is that American football?
Soccer, yeah.
Soccer,
man. We've got Robin.
Yaya.
Robin. Hello, Robin. She's a new subscriber from Australia. She loved hearing about the Racecourse Live initiative that we talked about last week, and she thinks that's an amazing idea. So,
which it is, obviously.
Welcome on board, Robin.
And we've got another guy who I think has commented before, actually.
John Batchelor, yeah.
Yep. He said, I think the documentary perhaps oversold the loner status of a goalie. So he was talking about the ones from last week
with Rob Lainton, yeah.
Thinks they are very much more involved in the team these days and an integral part of a team, with a very active role in on-pitch leadership and coaching. And I agree with him, actually. I think they are, you know, you can when you're sitting there watching the game, you can hear the goalkeepers like shouting at the players.
Yeah, I think they're in a very. I think one point I did edit down John's message there, but I think what he was trying to allude to is that the goalies are in a prime position for seeing what's going on in the game, and you know they're sort of on-field coaches as such, and they can see a lot that's going on. But yeah, thanks very much again for getting in touch, John. We had Angus McKinnon, new subscriber, just got in touch to say hi. We had Drew Hunt.
He set an insight into American football. He's a Detroit City FC fan.
Yeah, when I said American football there, I mean American
soccer.
As football, not American football.
I got that when you put FC. Yeah. You know, anyway. They have a law called PLS, which ties a net worth to the ownership. So even if they had a promotion or relegation, they wouldn't be able to move up as they don't have mega rich owners.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting that, isn't it? Because they don't have promotion and relegation. We've talked about that before. Which it's obviously a lot of American sport is closed, so you know you've just got your group of people. But it's quite interesting this PLS.
You think they'd have the same rules as us, though, wouldn't you? Considering football,
not necessarily. They're very much closed sport. Everything they do is closed sport, which we've said. NBA, NFL, NHL. Just like sounds like I'm just spewing out letters now.
Yeah.
MLS.
Yeah.
M&S. So DHL. It's all closed. DPD. It's all closed sport. You know, you don't have promotion and relegation, so it's something that's quite alien to Americans.
Yeah.
And American owners coming in as well. It's quite alien. You know, like with Rob and Ryan, I think that was probably something that was quite alien to them. That you could go up, you could go down.
Yeah.
A team in our position could end up in the Premier League one day.
Which I think that's
or the Premier League, as Ryan just keeps.
So gorgeous. I love Ryan.
Johnny L got in touch to say that he loved the sky blue kit that I was wearing I was wearing it a few episodes ago, and he asked what size I was. I'm assuming that's because
he wants to get one.
He wants to get one, or maybe he just wants to buy me something. I don't know.
I'm guessing the first one. I don't think he's going to buy you anything.
I'm guessing no. Well, thanks very much to everyone who's got in touch. Obviously, you can get in touch the usual way. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and the email, me, the wife, and WrexhamAFC@gmail.com. Boom!
You're getting better at that.
I am getting better than that.
I still think we need to get it shortened, but anyway.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So, weekly shout out to Dragon Chat as well. So, every Thursday, you have Dragon Chat, which is a peer support men's mental health group. Haven't been on for a few weeks. I will be on this Thursday. Massively beneficial. Anybody wants to jump on there. All the details are released on a Thursday on Facebook, on the Wrexham AFC Facebook page of how to get on. It's a Zoom call, so you can sit in your bedroom, in your living room, wherever you're.
I thought you were going to just sit in your pants or something.
Well, you can if you want, but as long as the camera's not just showing your face, whatever you want to do, you can get on there. It's great. The people on there are amazing. It's on at 7:00 on a Thursday.
Yeah.
As I say, I'll be on it this week. So
don't let that put you off, though.
Don't let that put you off. No, I will be there though. If you're watching this on YouTube, all the details for the call will be down in the description. As I say, if you just listen to the podcast, check out the Facebook page and come along to that. So we've got quiz time.
Yes. Actually, before we start, the lady who actually come up to us in the Mould Road stand on Tuesday, she said she actually loves the quiz.
Yeah.
And she said that she was pretty good at it, actually.
Yeah,
which,
she did.
It was kind of a bit of a blow for me, really, to be honest.
I've done a. Yeah, I know. Yeah, she's better than you. Maybe we should get her on.
Yeah.
I've made the quiz really simple this week.
Don't say that, because it makes me look even dumber if I don't get any questions right.
No, I don't mean the answers are simple. What I mean is I've just simplified it.
Is that because I'm so stupid?
Not at all. I didn't say that. There's 4 answers.
Right, okay.
4 answers.
Okay.
You were at the game on Tuesday, weren't you? The Dagenham game?
I was.
You were there?
I was there.
Yes. So, you're obviously, you keep chirping on about this assist of the month and all this, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep going on, oh yeah. And then people are getting in touch going, assist of the month. That's a really good idea, isn't it? Right? Okay. So, what we're going to do is, from Tuesday's game, I want you to tell me, in order, who assisted the goals. Do you think any of the assists on Tuesday were assist of the month worthy? Don't remember them, do you? Don't, because they're boring. Right.
Wow, that was a speech.
So, 4 assists.
Okay.
All different players.
Okay.
You could scattershot this and get some of them right, I admit. So, because there's only 4, I want you to do them in order.
Oh, God. Okay.
Goal number 1. Who assisted that? Do you remember it?
Was it Paul Mullen who scored it?
No, it was Ollie Palmer's little header at the back post, it was.
I'm going to say...
Yeah.
Jordan Davis.
Okay. No, it wasn't.
A great start.
Good start. Okay. Number 2. So that was in the first half. That was Mullen's header. Remember, from the corner.
Okay.
So the corner come across, Mullen, bang, back post.
Hayden.
Yeah, why have you got that? How have you got that? It was Hayden, yeah. Well done.
Why?
Number 3. Number 3. Number 3. That was, who was number 3? Can't remember. Doesn't matter.
Well, it does.
Well,
because it will sort of help me kind of picture.
Well, you were at the game, weren't you? So.
Ford.
No, it wasn't Ford. No, that was Jordan Davis.
Oh, I was going to say him.
And goal number 4.
I mean, you could have given me Jordan Davis before. I've actually said Jordan
I could have, but I'm trying to prove a point. Number 4. Who was number 4? Who's knocking on the door? Number 4. Number 4.
Mendy.
No, James Jones.
He played quite good.
So you got 1 out of 4 there. Yeah? So it just goes to show no one cares about assists, do they?
I do. I still care.
No. Look, I was just being a bit silly, to be honest. Assists are important, But I was just trying to show that really nobody really remembers Supervisor.
Anyway, so thank you very much for watching this week's episode. We'll be back next week, no doubt, unless I've killed Ryan. So, yeah, all have a good week. See ya.
Bye.